Adjectives and Adverbs.
The book I'm reading is interesting.
You can read it later. Let's go for a long walk.
I don't like to walk in this cold weather.
Will you enjoy if we walk slowly, enjoying thoroughly our surroundings?
I like to walk fast. Let's go for a quick jog.
Okay, I will really enjoy that too.
In the dialogues, Savi and Atul have used adjectives and adverbs to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives. The book I'm reading is interesting. Let's go for a long walk. I don't like to walk in this cold weather. Let's go for a quick jog. Adverbs. You will enjoy if we walk slowly, enjoying thoroughly our surroundings. I like to walk fast. I will really enjoy that too. Definition. Adjectives are describing words. Adjectives are added to nouns to state what kind, what color, which one or how many. Adjectives are said to modify nouns and are necessary to make the meanings of sentences clearer or more exact. An adverb is a word used to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. When an adverb modifies a verb, it usually tells us when, where, how, in what manner, or to what extent the action is performed. Let us look at a few sentences. Harsh is an intelligent student. Anand has 2 cars. Vineet always talks loudly. Martha had bought a very big house. In the first sentence, intelligent is an adjective as it describes the noun Harsh. In the second sentence, 2 is an adjective as it tells us something about the noun cars. It tells us how many of the noun cars Anand possesses. In the third sentence, loudly is an adverb as it modifies the verb talks. It tells us in what manner the action is performed. In the fourth sentence, big is an adjective as it describes the noun house. Very is an adverb as it modifies the adjective big. Here are few more examples of use of adjectives and adverbs. Namita likes to keep her house spotlessly clean. Vani bought a red dress. Adjectives ending in ing and ed, boring or bored, etc.
My last job was very boring. What about your new one? This one is interesting. I never feel bored. I wish I could get a new job too. My boss is very annoying. Yes, I too used to feel annoyed with the attitude of my boss in my last job. I'm interested in joining your office if there is any vacancy for me. I will find out and let you know.
In the dialogues, Tanya and Nalini have used adjectives ending in ing and ed to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using adjectives ending in ing and ed. My last job was very boring. This one is interesting. I never feel bored. My boss is very annoying. I too used to feel annoyed with the attitude of my boss in my last job. I'm interested in joining your office if there is any vacancy for me. Definition. Somebody is bored if something or somebody else is boring, or if something is boring, it makes you bored. If a person is boring, this means that they make other people bored. The ing adjective tells you about the job. The ed adjective tells you how somebody feels about the job. Let us look at a few sentences. The places we visited on our world tour were fascinating. I was fascinated by the beauty of the hills surrounding me. My work in office is tiring. I'm tired after office hours. In the first and second sentence, fascinating is an adjective ending in ing and fascinated is an adjective ending with ed. Somebody is fascinated if something or somebody else is fascinating, or if something is fascinating, it makes you fascinated. The ing adjective is telling you about some places. The ed adjective is telling you how somebody feels about a place. In the third and the fourth sentence, tiring is an adjective ending in ing and tired is adjectives. Word order. A nice new house. Adjectives after verbs. You look tired.
Look at that cute white puppy. I want to take it home. It looks adorable. Yes, it does. I will ask my mother if I can take it home. You can buy a small round plastic basket for the puppy. I think that dog with black and white patches is the mother of this puppy.
In the dialogues, Jagrati and Anubhav have used adjectives in a particular word order, an adjective after a verb to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using adjectives in a particular word order and adjectives after verbs. Look at that cute white puppy. It's look adorable. You can buy a small round plastic basket for the puppy. I think that dog with black and white patches is the mother of this puppy. Definition. Sometimes we use two or more adjectives together. Adjectives like new, large, round, wooden are fact adjectives. They give us factual information about age, size, color, etc. Adjectives like nice or beautiful are opinion adjectives. They tell us what somebody thinks of something or somebody. Opinion adjectives usually go before fact adjectives. Sometimes we use two or more fact adjectives. Very often, but not always, we put fact adjectives in this order. 1. How big? 2. How old? 3. What color? 4. Where from? 5. What is it made of? Adjective of size and length. Big or small. Tall, short, long, etc. Usually go before adjectives of shape and width. Round, fat, thin, slim, or wide, etc. When there are two color adjectives, we use and. We use adjectives after some verbs such as be, get, become, seem. We also use adjectives to say how somebody or something looks, feels, sounds, tastes or smells. Let us look at a few sentences. I read a fantastic fiction book. My father gets angry. Adjectives and adverbs. Quick, quickly.
Finish your work quickly if you want to go to the market with me. I'm trying to be quick, but the questions are tough. Read the difficult questions carefully before you solve them. I'm doing so, but some of the questions are extremely hard to solve.
In the dialogues, Vishal and Stuti have used different types of adjectives and adverbs to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using different types of adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives. I'm trying to be quick, but the questions are tough. Read the difficult questions carefully before you solve them. I'm doing so, but some of the questions are extremely hard to solve. Adverbs. Finish your work quickly if you want to go to the market with me. Read the difficult questions carefully before you solve them. I'm doing so, but some of the questions are extremely hard to solve. Definition. Many adverbs are made from an adjective plus minus one y. Adjectives, quick or careful, etc. Tell us about a noun. We use adjectives before nouns and after some verbs, especially be. We also use adjectives after the verbs look, feel, sound, etc. Adverbs quickly or carefully, etc. tell us about a verb. An adverb tells us how somebody does something or how something happens. We also use adverbs before adjectives and other adverbs. You can also use an adverb before a past participle. Let us look at a few sentences. It is raining really heavily. Jasmine was seriously injured in the accident. Anupama is a friendly girl. She gave him a beautiful bouquet of roses on his birthday. In the first sentence, heavily is an adverb, as it tells us about the verb raining. Really is also an adverb, as we also use adverbs before other adverbs. In the second sentence, seriously is an adverb, as it has been used before past participle. In the third sentence, friendly is an adjective, as it tells us about a noun. Adjectives and adverbs well, fast, late, hard or hardly. Neeta plays the guitar very well.
I'm also learning to play guitar. However, I'm not so good.
She practices very hard every day.
And I hardly practice at all.
Neeta is a hard worker.
She wakes up till late night for practice. Neeta has been learning to play guitar for 5 years. I joined guitar classes very late.
In the dialogues, Mariam and Ananya have used certain adjectives and adverbs to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using certain adjectives and adverbs like well, fast, late, hard, or hardly. Adjectives, however, I'm not so good. Neeta is a hard worker. She wakes up till late night for practice. Adverbs. Neeta plays the guitar very well. She practices very hard every day. And I hardly practice at all. I joined guitar classes very late. Definition. Good, well. Good is an adjective. The adverb is well. We use well, not good, with past participles, dressed or known, etc. But well is also an adjective with the meaning in good health. Fast, hard, late. These words are both adjectives and adverbs. Hardly. Hardly is very little or almost not. Hard and hardly are completely different. Let us look at a few sentences. Avni is a good student. She performs well in exams. Gagan is a fast skater. Shashi runs very fast. Chetan works very hard in office every day. Suman hardly works in office. In the first sentence, good is an adjective as it tells something about a person. In the second sentence, well is an adverb as an adverb tells us how somebody does something. In the third sentence, fast is an adjective. After certain verbs like be, an adjective is used. Here, fast is used after is and it tells something about a noun. In the fourth sentence, fast is an adverb, as an adverb tells us How somebody does so and such.
This house is so big, it is just like a castle. Yes, I have never seen such a big house. I wonder who lives here. They must be so rich. They have such a beautiful garden that I'm speechless. I have never seen such a garden. It has been tended so painstakingly. It has such a lot of flowers and so many birds.
In the dialogues, Latika and Kaya have used so and such to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using so and such. This house is so big. I have never seen such a big house. They must be so rich. They have such a beautiful garden that I'm speechless. I have never seen such a garden. It has been tended so painstakingly. It has such a lot of flowers and so many birds. Definition. We use so plus adjective or adverb. We use such plus noun. We use such plus adjective plus noun. Note that we say such a and such make the meaning of an adjective or adverb stronger. You can use so, that. You can use such, that. We also use so and such with the meaning like this. We say, so long but such a long time. So far but such a long way. So much, so many but such a lot of. Let us look at a few sentences. Anita's voice is so melodious that her songs leave everyone mesmerized. We laughed so much after such a long time. Fardeen reads many books but has never read such an interesting one. Everyone enjoys her speeches because she speaks English so fluently. In the first sentence, so has been used with the adjective melodious. Along with that, so makes the meaning of the adjective melodious stronger. In the second sentence, so has been used with much and such with a long time. Such is used with a. In the third sentence, such with adjective interesting, and it conveys the meaning like this. In the last sentence, so has been used with adverb fluently, and it makes the meaning of fluently stronger. Here are few more examples of use of so and such. The temple is so far away that it is difficult to go there. My enough and to.
There isn't enough space in my bag to keep all these clothes. This bag is too small. You must buy another one that is spacious enough. You are right, but it is too late to go to the market now. Actually, I don't have too much experience of packing. I can't be of any help to you. Even I'm not experienced enough.
In the dialogues, Kajal and Dimple have used enough and to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using enough and to. There isn't enough space in my bag to keep all these clothes. This bag is too small. You must buy another one that is spacious enough. But it is too late to go to the market now. Actually, I don't have too much experience of packing. Even I'm not experienced enough. Definition. Enough goes after adjectives and adverbs. The opposite is to. To normally goes before adjectives and adverbs. Enough normally goes before nouns. You can also use enough alone, without a noun. The opposite is too much or too many. We say enough or too for somebody or something. But we usually say enough or to do something, not for doing. Let us look at a few sentences. We don't have enough food for 6 people. I'm not good enough for this role. This book is too boring. Let us be quick because there is too much work to be done. In the first sentence, enough has been used before noun, food, as enough normally goes before nouns. In the second sentence, enough has been used after adjective good, as enough goes after adjectives and adverbs. In the third sentence, to has been used before adjective boring. We say enough or to for somebody something. In the last sentence, to has been used much. We often use to before much or many. Here are few more examples of use of enough and to. The milk is too hot to drink. Ritu is not talented enough to perform these tough dance steps. Quite and rather.
The weather is quite bad. Yes, it's rather windy today. It seems that quite a storm is blowing up. Actually, I quite like this kind of weather. I don't like it at all. I would rather stay inside than outside in such horrible weather. I quite understand, but for me, it is quite an awesome day. That is rather too much fascination for such atrocious weather.
In the dialogues, Vijay and Sujata have used quite and rather to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using quite and rather. The weather is quite bad. Yes, it's rather windy today. It seems that quite a storm is blowing up. Actually, I quite like this kind of weather. I would rather stay inside than outside in such horrible weather. I quite understand, but for me, it is quite an awesome day. That is rather too much fascination for such atrocious weather. Definition. Quite is less than, very, but more than a little. Quite goes before a or an. Sometimes we use quite plus noun without an adjective. We also use quite with some verbs, especially like and enjoy. Quite sometimes means completely. Rather is similar to quite. We use rather mainly with negative words and negative ideas. Often we use quite with a positive idea and rather with a negative idea. When we use rather with the positive words, nice or interesting, etc., it means unusually or surprisingly. Rather can go before or after a or an. Quite also means completely. It can be used with adjectives and some verbs. Let us look at a few sentences. The exam question paper was quite easy. It is quite a beautiful painting. You are quite right. It is rather difficult for me to go out of the house today. The book was rather interesting. In the first sentence, quite has been used before adjective easy and it means less than very but more than a little. In the second sentence, quite goes before a and adjective beautiful. Often we use quite with a positive idea. In the third sentence, quite has been used to mean completely. In the fourth sentence, rather has been used with adjective difficult and comparison, cheaper, more expensive, etc. How much did you buy this bag for? I bought it for 100 rupees. Your bag is more expensive than mine. I bought a similar bag for rupees 50. That is really cheaper than my bag. Where did you buy it from? I bought it from a small fair. The seller was quoting a higher price, but I bargained with him. In fact, your bag is more beautiful and more spacious than mine. But the color of yours is better. In the dialogues, Sahiba and Devi have used comparatives to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using comparatives. Your bag is more expensive than mine. That is really cheaper than my bag. The seller was quoting a higher price, but I bargained with him. In fact, your bag is more beautiful and more spacious than mine. But the color of yours is better. Definition: cheaper and more expensive are comparative forms. After comparatives, you can use than. The comparative form is er or more. We use er for short words. One syllable. Cheap, cheaper. Fast, faster. Large, larger. Thin, thinner. We also use er for two-syllable words that end in y, ier. Lucky, luckier. Early, earlier. Easy, easier. Pretty, prettier. We use more for longer words, two syllables or more. More modern, more serious, more expensive, more comfortable. We use more for adverbs that end in one y. More slowly, more seriously, more quietly, more carefully. These adjectives and adverbs have irregular comparative forms. Good or well, better. Let us look at a few sentences. My work is neater than your work. Lalit is taller than Varun. My new friend Kyra is more understanding than my childhood friend Sheena. This book is more interesting than the one I bought last week. In the first sentence, neater is the comparative form and it is made by adding er to neat, which has a single syllable since we use er for
Comparison: much, a lot, far, a bit, harder. Let's travel by air. It is more comfortable than train. But it is a lot more expensive. That is true, but it takes much less time. When should I get the ticket reserved? The sooner the better. When should we go? The earlier we leave, the more advantageous it will be for us. My elder brother is a travel agent. He can help us with reservations.
In the dialogues, the boys have used various comparative forms to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences showing use of comparatives. It is more comfortable than train, but it is a lot more expensive. But it takes much less time. The sooner, the better. The earlier we leave, the more advantageous it will be for us. My elder brother is a travel agent. Definition: before comparatives, you can use much, a lot, far, a lot, a bit, a little, slightly, a little. You can use any and no plus comparatives, any longer or no bigger, etc. Harder and harder, more and more difficult, etc. We repeat comparatives like this and to say that something is changing continuously. We can say the comparative form, the better. We also use the comparative form, the comparative form to say that one thing depends on another thing. Older and elder. The comparative of old is older. You can use elder or older when you talk about people in a family. You can say my elder brother, sister, son, daughter. When we use than for comparison, we use older and not elder. Let us look at a few sentences. Sia is older than her sister Ria. The syllabus is getting harder and harder every year. Her oratory skills are no better than mine. In the first sentence, older is the comparative form used. When we use than for comparison, we use older and not elder. In the second sentence, harder and harder are the comparative forms. We repeat comparatives like this. Comparison: as than.
Anshita is not as smart as Ruchika. Yes, but Ruchika is not so intelligent as Anshita. Ruchika is less popular in the class than Anshita. I think Anshita is twice as helpful as Ruchika. You are right. Anyway, you know both of them better than me.
In the dialogues, Rachna and Devika have used comparatives to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using comparatives. Anshita is not as smart as Ruchika. Yes, but Ruchika is not so intelligent as Anshita. Ruchika is less popular in class than Anshita. I think Anshita is twice as helpful as Ruchika. Anyway, you know both of them better than me. Definition. We can use comparatives as is not as, is not so as, less than. These are similar in meaning. However, you can use as, but not so as in positive sentences and in questions. Another way comparatives can be used are twice as, three times as, etc. We say the same as, not the same like, than me, or than I'm, etc. Let us look at few sentences. The sun today is as hot as yesterday. Her marks are the same as mine. This book is not so interesting as the one I read last week. In the first sentence, as hot as is the way comparative form has been used since it is a positive sentence. We can use as, but not so as in positive sentences and in questions. In the second sentence, the same as is the way comparative form has been used. We say the same as, not the same like. In the last sentence, not so interesting as is the way comparative form has been used. This manner of comparison is used in negative sentences only. It is not used in positive sentences or questions. Here are few more examples of use of comparatives. Ashita is as quick as Rashmi on the racetrack. Onions are 3 times as expensive as they were last year. Superlatives, the longest or the most enjoyable, etc. Which is the choicest hotel in your hometown? Are you planning to visit my hometown? July is not the best season to go there. It is the wettest time of the year. I have holidays only in July. Anyway, I think that rainy season is the most beautiful season of all. If you like rain, then this is the most enjoyable time in my hometown. It truly has the most spectacular rainy season I have ever seen. In the dialogues, Grishma and Rajni have used superlatives to express themselves. Here are examples of sentences using superlatives. Which is the choicest hotel in your hometown? July is not the best season to go there. It is the wettest time of the year. Anyway, I think that rainy season is the most beautiful season of all. If you like rain, then this is the most enjoyable time in my hometown. It truly has the most spectacular rainy season I have ever seen. Definition. The superlative form is est or most. In general, we use est for short words and most for longer words. Long, longest. Hot, hottest. Easy, easiest. Hard, hardest. But most famous. Most boring. Most difficult. Most expensive. These adjectives are irregular: good, best, bad, worst, far, furthest. We normally use the before, a superlative, the longest, the most famous, etc. The superlative of old is oldest. We use eldest or oldest when we are talking about people in a family. After superlatives, we use in with places, towns, buildings, etc. We do not use of. We also use in for organizations and groups of people, a class, team, company, etc. We normally use of for a period of time. We often use the present perfect I have done after a superlative. Let us look at a few sentences. This is the longest poem I have ever written. Gati is the most intelligent child in the class. My eldest brother is the oldest student of the school. In the first sentence, word order, verb plus object, place and time. I will go to the market in the evening. Please bring me a packet of chips. Do you want anything else from the market? I need fruits, but I need them tomorrow. Should I bring fruits too? No thanks. I will bring fruits tomorrow when I return home from office. In the dialogues of Katrina and Sharda, we can understand what should be the word order in sentences. Here are examples of word order in sentences. The verb and the place and then time. I will go to the market in the evening. Verb plus object. Please bring a packet of chips. I need fruits. Should I bring fruits too? Verb plus object plus time. I need them tomorrow. I will bring fruits tomorrow. Verb plus object plus place. I return home from office. Do you want anything else from the market? Definition. The verb and the object of the verb normally go together. We do not usually put other words between them. Usually the verb and the place where go together. If the verb has an object, the place comes after the verb plus object. Time, when. How often, how long, normally goes after place. It is often possible to put time at the beginning of the sentence. Let us look at few sentences. Garima went to Mumbai yesterday. I take my dog to the park every evening. Every morning, Ruchi feeds the birds on her terrace. In the first sentence, the word over is verb went plus place Mumbai plus time yesterday. In the second sentence, the word order is verb take plus object dog plus place park and then time when and how often, that is every evening. In the third sentence, the word order is time, when and how often, every morning plus verb feeds plus object birds and then place terrace. Here are few more examples of what should be the word order in a sentence. Reena distributed toffees in school on her birthday. Vishu drops his sister to school every day. Word order. Adverbs with the verb.
I always go to the gym in the evening. I would also like to go. You can always join me. I am mostly busy in the evenings. Then you can probably go in the morning. I probably won't be able to go in the morning too. Why? I often go for a morning walk with my wife.
In the dialogues of Hardik and Sharad, we can understand what should be the word order in sentences, showing the use of adverbs along with verbs. Here are examples of word order in sentences, showing the use of adverbs along with verbs. I always go to the gym in the evening. I would also like to go. You can always join me. I'm mostly busy in the evenings. Then you can probably go in the morning. I probably won't be able to go in the morning too. I often go for a morning walk with my wife. Definition. Some adverbs, for example, always, also, probably, go with the verb in the middle of a sentence. These are the rules for the position of adverbs in the middle of a sentence. They are only general rules, so there are exceptions. 1. If the verb is one word, goes, fell, cooked, etc., the adverb usually goes before the verb. Note that these adverbs always, often, also, etc. go before have to. 2. But adverbs go after am, is, are, was, were. 3. If the verb is two or more words, can remember, doesn't smoke, has been stolen, etc., the adverb goes after the first verb, can, doesn't, has, etc. Note that probably goes before the negative. Let us look at a few sentences. It is always very hot in June. She usually scores better than me in maths. Tara probably won't attend the meeting tomorrow. I can also help you with the project. In the first sentence, adverb always is used after verb is. In the second sentence, adverb usually is used before the one-word verb scores. In the third sentence, still, yet and already, anymore or any longer, no longer.
When will you come to my place? I can't wait anymore. I'm still doing my homework. Have you already completed yours? I haven't finished my English work yet. I will do it later in the evening. My parents will not allow me to visit your place till I finish my work. I still haven't completed my history work.
In the dialogues, Shakshi and Kirti have made use of still, yet and already, anymore or any longer, no longer to express themselves. Here are examples of the use of still, yet and already, anymore or any longer, no longer. I can't wait anymore. I'm still doing my homework. Have you already completed yours? I haven't finished my English work yet. I still haven't completed my history work. Definition. We use still to say that a situation or action is continuing. It hasn't changed or stopped. Still usually goes in the middle of the sentence with the verb. Still is also possible with negative sentences before the negative. Any more or any longer or no longer. We use not, any more or not, any longer to say that a situation has changed. Any more and any longer go at the end of a sentence. You can also use no longer. No longer goes in the middle of the sentence. Yet, until now. We use yet mainly in negative sentences and questions. Yet shows that the speaker is expecting something to happen. Yet usually goes at the end of a sentence. We often use yet with the present perfect. We use already to say that something happened sooner than expected. Already usually goes in the middle of a sentence. Let us look at a few sentences. Chetna is still as slim as she was 10 years ago. Hina has not got married yet. I can't wait to taste that cake any longer. In the first sentence, still has been used to say that a situation or action is continuing. It hasn't changed or stopped. Still usually goes in the middle of the sentence with the verb is. In the second sentence, yet has been used to mean until now. We use yet mainly in negative sentences and questions. Yet shows even. We lost the match even though we had practiced a lot. The whole team was practicing even in the evening. What went wrong? The other team was stronger. We couldn't even make a single basket. I'm sure the other team had even better players than our team. You can't even imagine how talented they were.
Our team will have to practice even harder for the next match.
In the dialogues, Yukta and Mukta have made use of even to express themselves. Here are examples of the use of even. We lost the match even though we had practiced a lot. The whole team was practicing even in the evening. We couldn't even make a single basket. I'm sure the other team had even better players than our team. You can't even imagine how talented they were. Our team will have to practice even harder for the next match. Definition. We use even to say that something is unusual or surprising. Very often we use even with the verb in the middle of a sentence. Even can also be used with not. You can use even plus a comparative, cheaper or more expensive, etc. You can use even plus though or when or if to join sentences. Note that you cannot use even alone in such cases. Let us look at a few sentences. We will go to the market even if it rains. She has not even completed the first question yet. She doesn't wear a sweater even in the winter season. Sia needs to work even harder if she wants to pass the test. In the first sentence, even has been used with if to join the sentence, and even cannot be used alone in such cases. In the second sentence, even has been used with not to express something surprising. In the third sentence, even has been used to express something unusual. In the last sentence, even has been used with the comparative harder for laying stress. Here are few more examples of the use of even. This project is even more complicated than the last one. She refused to go out of the class even when she was specifically told by the teacher to do so.